At Farm Bureau, when we talk about protecting what matters most, we're not just talking about things with walls and things with wheels. We're talking about people, your family. Everything that's important to you is important to us. That's why our agents are ready to help protect your future and give you peace of mind today. Visit us online or just stop by to see how Farm Bureau agents make insurance simple.
Contact Jeff or Julie in Rapid City, South Dakota to see how they make insurance simple.
If you jump into a race and you haven't paid the entry fee,
if you just hop in and you don't have a bib number and you just run with it illegally,
it's called being a bandit.
The Charge Bandit is the first stability offering in our Run Long segment.
we have the armor vent and the 4-foot maximum breathability. We paired it with the Charge Ultimate Response adaptive cushioning. If you go to the medial side, you'll see a stability post here, and we've done stability kind of in our own way where we're more guiding the foot.
This shoe provides a light stability platform for the runner.
If you're a younger runner getting into running, you want a shoe that can do it all. You can train in, you can race in, it looks cool, has a lot of Under Armour attitude to it. That's the Bandit.
We call ourselves bandits. That's the Under Armour way, right? It's how we design product, it's how we live our life here at Under Armour.
Honda knows you expect a lot from your car. But we wanted to give you even more. So we gave the Civic the best-selling car in
This is Mark the Freedom Poet, and I want to tell you about two wonderful candidates for South Dakota legislature, Sean McPherson and Craig Eriks. I've known both of them for many years, and I trust them to be faithful champions of our precious Constitution. That includes how they defend our Bill of Rights. Faith, family, and freedom are very important to these men, and they cannot be bought or pressured to vote for anything that they think is harmful to individual freedom or our precious republic. Please vote June 7th in the Republican primary for Craig Eriks and Sean McPherson.
At Farm Bureau, when we talk about protecting what matters most, we're not just talking about things with walls and things with wheels. We're talking about people, your family. Everything that's important to you is important to us. That's why our agents are ready to help protect your future and give you peace of mind today. Visit us online or just stop by to see how Farm Bureau agents make insurance simple.
Like Post 22 baseball, we set higher expectations for ourselves because that's what our legacy demands. Call 342-3280 for an appointment.
If you're a younger runner getting in
and we do not have a scoreboard to keep track of anything because unfortunately somebody broke in and stole the computer that runs the entire scoreboard. So you'll have to bear with us as we try to get our technology to work, to try to get all technology to work. We'll just say that here in Billings.
Well, Nick Jovetic is up now. His first pitch is a swing and a miss for strike one. All balls and a strike his count. He walked the first time he came up to the plate. Next pitch is in there for strike two on the inside. So quickly, Soucy's ahead. No balls and 2 strikes to count.
And Soucy has struck out the last 3 batters he's faced. And, after that kind of rocky start, Soucy's settled down and he's kept his composure. That's one of the biggest attributes that this young man has.
Next pitch is fouled right in front of us in the nice chain link fence. And the count will remain no balls and 2 strikes.
And I think his poise comes from he's a quarterback for the Stevens High School football team. He's a pitcher in baseball. Those are some of the 2 highest stress positions in its sports in its own right. So this gentleman just has a really level head on his shoulder.
0-2 just misses low and outside, and the count will go to a ball and 2 strikes now. Jovetic will see another pitch.
As we mentioned earlier, Jovetic walked and made it all the way to third and got thrown out at home by a force when the bases were loaded in his first at-bat.
1-2, swung on and missed, strike 3. 4 consecutive strikeouts dating back to the top half of the first inning for Brandon Soucy. He's clearly in the zone, 2 of them in this inning, 2 up, 2 down. Here comes Jacob Bierig, the shortstop.
And Bierig, Soucy has a little bone to pick as Bierig just bunted it right back to Soucy in a routine play, but Soucy was unable to get the throw over to first for the E1 as Bierig got on base in his first at bat and came around to score the first of 4 runs in the top of the first.
And the first pitch that he looks at is low for ball 1. So 1-0 is the count now from Soucy to Bierig. And immediately the big lefty is right back into his windup. Here's the 1-0. Swung on and chopped to third. Justin Kramer, easy scoop for him there. Throw to first is in time. That's going to do it. KK 5-3 in the scorebooks. 1-2-3 inning for the Hardhats defensively, which means no runs, hits, errors, or any men left on base. And at the end of an inning and a half, Missoula still has a 4-0 lead. Your Hardhats go right back to the sticks. Next up, 7, 8, and 9, Timmy Paris, Cooper Bowman, and Justin Kramer. We'll be right back, folks, here on the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball on ESPN Rapid City, and also streamed live on the web on post22live.com.
Into running, you want a shoe that can do it all. You can train in, you can race in, it looks cool, has a lot of Under Armour attitude to it. That's the Bandit.
We call ourselves Bandits. That's the Under Armour way, right? It's how we design product. It's how we live our life here at Under Armour.
Honda knows you expect a lot from your car. But we wanted to give you even more. So we gave the Civic, the best-selling car in its class, even more horsepower. More room than ever. And a stylish new exterior. Introducing the all-new Civic, the 2016 North American Car of the Year. Nothing compares to a Honda.
We're all set now for the bottom half of the second inning. The Hardhats trailing 4-0 to Missoula. But after what was top of the first inning, they'd like to forget. They immediately come right back with a 1-2-3 defensive inning at the top half of the second. Braden Susi was locked in to his crosshairs. 2 strikeouts and then a 5-3 ground out. And 4-0 remains the score. So now Timmy Paris starts to lead off here for the Hardhats. The veteran catcher of this club. And the first pitch that he looks at is low and away for ball 1.
And that's exactly what Susi needed, was a fast inning, that last inning, because he threw 36 pitches in that big top of the first, and only 14 that second, so he's looking to go deep in this game.
1-0 for Paris is swung on and drilled to left field. Ball has some distance on it, and it goes all the way to the wall. He turns on the afterburners. Timmy Paris is in a second with a stand-up double, and that is the start this Hardhats club needed at this bottom half of the second inning. Their leadoff man is 180 feet away from coming around to score, and that's going to bring up Cooper Bowman.
Timmy Paris getting around on the ball, putting it right over the head of Jewett there in left field. Rolled one hop off the wall, a short hop, and that's a big wall over there in left, 320 to left, and he hit it right in the deepest part of the field.
And here comes Bowman. He shows bunt. The pitch is settled by McHugh, and he doesn't get the throw off. Timmy Paris advances to third. He's 90 feet away from scoring for this Hardhats club. Cooper Bowman with a nice bunt, even better base running. There was no throw that came from McHugh.
Yeah, that drag bunt, you see Bowman, as soon as McHugh left, the ball left his hand, that's when Bowman went down for that bunt. It was a bunt for a hit the entire way. It wasn't a bunt it wasn't a sacrifice bunt. So a nice job there from Bowman. And now with runners on the corners, look for Kramer to possibly take one and then try and get Bowman to steal second base and get 2 runners in scoring position.
Well, here comes Justin Kramer playing in the hot corner today for the Hardhats, and he does not see a pitch as McHugh goes ahead and checks over at first. On first is Cooper Bowman. A bunt single right to the pitcher. On third, 90 feet away from home to score is Timmy Paris. First pitch to Kramer is a swing and a miss up high. No balls and a strike the count now to the gentleman playing third for the Hardhats.
And Kramer kind of struggled in that opening weekend in Sheridan at the plate. His defense is always good. You know what you're going to get with him on defense, and now he's looking to try and bust out of this and start his season off strong.
Next pitch is chopped to third, and it rolls foul. And his count quickly goes to 0-2. McHugh with the advantage on the mound.
And you saw Cooper Bowman on first base. He was in motion going to second base. He's really trying to get all the way. He's trying to get into scoring position because a base hit would score these two gentlemen with the speed of Bowman on second base, and of course Timmy Paris only 90 feet away.
Bowman's back to first. Paris on third. No outs here in the bottom of the second. Hardhats have a 4-0 lead. Next pitch to Kramer, swung on and hit to third, and it's bobbled on the play by Schock. Throw to first, though, is in time. But in the ensuing shuffle, Timmy Paris comes home to score. It's a 5-3 RBI ground out for Justin Kramer. Hardhats are on the board, down 4-1.
That was a huge play there. It was bobbled right off the chest there of Schock at third base, but a strong throw. Gentleman definitely has a strong arm over there, as Kramer has a lot of speed and still was unable to beat it out, but he did get the RBI, and he moved Cooper Bowman to second base, still in scoring position. A base hit would score him from second base.
Well, now here comes Walker Paz, who grounded out 4-1 at his first at-bat, the bottom of the first, and he looks at a pitch low in the zone for strike one. No balls and a strike to Walker Paz. He is the leadoff hitter that anybody at any level of the sport could ask for, because he just finds ways to get on first. It sounds redundant. We bring it up every time he's in the box, but it's a point that needs to be made. His 0-1, swung on and missed. Strike two.
And as we talked with Coach Messer, some of the things he's looking for in today's games, and one of them was patience at the plate and making smart decisions. And you said Walker Paz chased a pitch low and outside there, a breaking ball started in the zone and went out. That's what he's talking about as we get further in the season, to be able to recognize that coming out of the pitcher's hand.
0-2 is swung on, and it's hit to center field in the air. Catch on the play is made by Jovetic, tagging up his Bowman, though, and he is into third safely. So it's a nice sacrifice for Walker Paz to move Bowman over.
And they're calling that Bowman left before the catch was made. He didn't tag up. So that's a double play there for this Missoula ball club.
Well, how about that? Talk about a rough end to a bottom of the second inning that was working well for the Hardhats. They do get one on the board, though. 4-1, now the score. Missoula still has the lead going to the top of the third inning. We'll be right back, folks, here on the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball on ESPN Rapid City and live on the internet at post22live.com.
Where will you find Black Hills State University graduates? Everywhere, locally, nationally, and internationally. Black Hills State University is where community leaders are inspired, where future teachers are prepared, where global connections lead to business connections, and where underground research is changing the way we understand the universe. Visit bhsu.edu and enroll now at Black Hills State University, where you can earn your degree affordably and with campuses in Spearfish and Rapid City. Stay in the beautiful Black Hills. Where does your future begin? At Black Hills State University, where anything is possible.
Maintaining healthy eyes requires regular vision exams. Dr. Paula Sorensen at InVision Optical and Eye Care strives to provide quality vision solutions and exceptional customer service. She values the opportunity to build a lifelong friendly relationship with you and your family. InVision Optical and Eye Care on West Main, across from the guard camp.
This is Mark the Freedom Poet, and I want to tell
Brandon Susi comes up to John Mitchell for strike one here to start off the top half of the third. His next pitch misses outside and a check swing. They say he didn't go, so the count's going to even now at a ball and a strike.
John Mitchell in his first at bat got a single and came around to score the second of 4 runs in that first inning for this Missoula club. And he looks at strike 2 on the inside part of the plate, just painting the black with Susi on that inside fastball, and a nice job getting that 2-seamer to run back over the plate.
Ball and 2 strikes now the count from Susi to Mitchell. His 0-2 fouled. It's going to remain, 1-2. It's going to remain a 1-2 count.
And that slider for Susi is working really well. He's starting it off the plate, and that's why he likes to stay on that outer part of the plate. He'll start it off the plate and run it in, and these hitters are just thrown off by it, as you see, as Mitchell just pounded that one straight down into home plate for the foul ball.
Next pitch is swung on and it's hit to short. Bowman's there, nice scoop. Throw to first is in time. 6-3 in the scorebooks, 1 up, 1 down for the Hardhats on the defensive, and that's going to bring up Hunter Paulson, the designated hitter.
And that's now 6 batters retired in a row here for Brandon Susi. After the rough start for this post-22 defense, it's really starting to settle into a groove, and hopefully they can continue that here through the middle part and ultimately to the end of the game.
First pitch to Paulson's ball 1. 1-0 is his count. He reached on a fielder's choice. He came around to score the 3rd run for Missoula in this game, back in the top of the 1st. Here comes the 1-0. Swung on and ripped foul just over the Missoula dugout. Hit the chain link fence there. Nobody was harmed in the making of that pitch, and now ball and strike the count. That next pitch there is fouled again. Ball and 2 strikes to count now to Paulson.
Susi is he's staying consistent with his velocity this season. That's one of the reasons he had success against Spearfish, and the reason he's looking good today. And we talked with Coach Messer about Susi and the fact that he's still able to hit those low 80s with his fastball consistently throughout the game is one of the best tools he has, and his command of the strike zone has gotten a lot better from the start of last year.
Next pitch misses up in the zone high. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count.
You still have a couple pitches to play with here. I don't be surprised if he comes with that slider on that outer part of the plate to try and get him to swing and miss and get the strikeout, or at the very minimum get a ground ball out to the right side.
2-2, swung on and missed, strike 3. That is another K for Susi. 2 up, 2 down in this inning. And that is going to bring up James Martin, the second baseman.
And that's now strikeout number 5 for Brandon Susi here now into the 3rd inning. So this kid's really settling down well and just retiring hitter after hitter. And, you take away those errors from that first inning, this game is still a 1-0, 1-1 game here between these two teams.
First pitch from Susi to Martin's a strike. No balls and a strike, his count. Martin singled, and he came around for the fourth run that Missoula scored in that big top of the first that they had against the Hardhats. Here comes his 0-1. Outside, just missed. Ball and a strike to count.
Susi's having a hard time getting those calls on that outer part of the plate. You could see him getting close here. It's tough to see the plate with the umpire and then Timmy Paris in our way right in front of us, but you see these pitches and he's trying to bring them right back over the plate.
Next pitch misses outside yet again. 2 balls and a strike now the count from Susi to James Martin, the second baseman. Spencer Schock, the third baseman, is on deck. Should Martin get on base?
Martin got a single to left field in between Cooper Bowman and Kramer, his first at bat, and then advanced to second on the error from Cam Fees in left field.
2-1 misses up high. 3 balls and a strike now the count. Bases are empty here in the top of the third. Missoula has a 4-1 lead over the Hardhats, excuse me. Susi looking to end this inning. He still needs a couple pitches to do so. 3-1 is fouled. And that's going to set up a payoff scenario here. Full count now coming to Martin. 1 pitch, he's on first. 1 pitch, the inning's over. So many possibilities. Or 1 pitch, we just do it all again.
And Brandon Susi now just threw a 65th pitch in this game, and we're only in the third inning. So you're going to be mindful of that pitch count, especially early in the season.
Payoff. Swung on, and it's chopped just out of the glove of Susi. It comes to Bowman. Throw to first in time. Great play by Cooper Bowman defensively to end this inning. It's another 1-2-3 defensive inning for the Hardhats, which means no runs, hits, errors, or any medi left on base. And at the end of 2.5, Missoula still has their 4-1 lead over your Hardhats. We'll be right back in just a few moments here, folks, on the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats baseball on ESPN Rapid City and streaming live on the internet at post22live.com.
Tell you about 2 wonderful candidates for South Dakota legislature, Sean McPherson and Craig Eriks. I've known both of them for many years, and I trust them to be faithful champions of our precious Constitution. That includes how they defend our Bill of Rights. Faith, family, and freedom are very important to these men, and they cannot be bought or pressured to vote for anything that they think is harmful to individual freedom or our precious republic. Please vote June 7th in the Republican primary for Craig Eriks and Sean McPherson.
Paid for by Eriks for SD House and McPherson for House.
At Farm Bureau, when we talk about protecting what matters most, we're not just talking about things with walls and things with wheels. We're talking about people, your family. Everything that's important to you is important to us. That's why our agents are ready to help protect your future and give you peace of mind today. Visit us online or just stop by to see how Farm Bureau agents make insurance simple.
Contact Jeff or Julie in Rapid City, South Dakota to see how they make insurance simple.
All set now for the bottom half of the third inning. Here in Billings, Montana. Changed the road trip up a bit. We were supposed to be in Cheyenne. They were predicted to get 2 inches of rain. I could be going out on a limb here. Those are not the most ideal conditions to be playing this game in. So now we've come to 67 and sunny Billings, Montana. Connor King's going to lead off the bottom half of the third here for the Hardhats. And his first pitch is chopped to second. Martin's there on the hop. Throw to first is in time. Quick at bat there for Connor King. 2 4-3 putouts for him on the day. 1 up, 1 down. Here comes Zach Solano.
Solano got things going with his first hit of the ball game in his first plate appearance. Got a single, made it all the way to third base, but was unable to come home as he was part of bases loaded left. And the pitch from McHugh is down low with that breaking ball, trying to get Solano to chase for something on that first pitch. But it is out of the zone, and now 1-0 the count here to the 3-hole hitter, Zach Solano. McHugh misses outside once again. Runs the count to 2 balls, no strikes here to the designated hitter today. And we've seen Solano in that designated hitter spot now for the first 3 games of the season, and he is by far one of the best hitters on this team. So look for him to be in this offensive side of the lineup, game in and game out for the Hardhats. McHugh misses once again up high to run the count 3-0, and you got to think that Solano's going to sit here and take at least 1 pitch. as that one is on the outside part of the plate, and Solano thought he had a free trip to first base, but our umpires had a different idea, and that is strike one. So 3-1 the count here to Zach Solano here in the bottom of the third inning. And that one is fouled to the post 22 dugout. Full count now. Battling back was McHugh. Started 3-0. Now battle back to 3-2. And Solano looking to battle here and try and get on base, whether it be a hit or a walk. He just wants to make that 90-foot travel down to first. Solano skies that one into center field. It's hanging up there, and there to play it is Jovetic to make the catch in shallow center. And that will be the second out of the inning, as Solano gets the F8 in your scorebooks. And that will bring up Matt Vickers, who reached on an error by the first baseman, Mitchell, in his first plate appearance. So 0-for-1 up to this point, but he was stranded in third. One of the bases loaded, stranded in the bottom of the first inning. McHugh goes down low again with that breaking ball. He's starting with that breaking ball on most of these hitters, but he missed once again. Now 1-0 the count here to the reigning South Dakota Player of the Year, Matt Vickers. Vickers won the second base, and right there is Martin, and he will throw it to first, and Vickers will be that third out of the inning. So a quick 1-2-3 inning for the post 22 Hardhats, and still 4-1 the score after 3 innings.
Rapid City Medical Center honors tradition. Hi, I'm Jennifer Tricano, Chief Executive Officer. Owned by physicians, we love this community because it's our home. We coach Little League, are veterans of the armed forces, and send our kids to school with yours. 14 specialties in all, we've treated your family's healthcare needs since 1948. Like post-22 baseball, we set higher expectations for ourselves because that's what our legacy demands. Call 342-3280 for an appointment.
If you're a younger runner getting into running, you want a shoe that can do it all. You can train in, you can race in, it looks cool, has a lot of Under Armour attitude to it. That's the Bandit.
We call ourselves Bandits. That's the Under Armour way, right? It's how we design product. It's how we live our life here at Under Armour.
Honda knows you expect a lot from your car. But we wanted to give you even more. So we gave the Civic, the best-selling car in its class, even more horsepower. More room than ever. And a stylish new exterior. Introducing the all-new Civic, the 2016 North American Car of the Year. Nothing compares to a Honda.
Into right field. Shock sent that one deep, and that lands just shy of the warning track. And Petrie's there to play it. Walker Paws unable to get the cut, and Shock will stand there at second base with a stand-up double to lead off the inning for Spencer Shock. Now 2 for 2 on the day. He was stranded at second base in that first inning. But now with no outs, he is standing 180 feet away from extending this Missoula lead. But Kyle McGuire on the mound is big, the tall right-hander. bunted right away to the first base side in Matt Vickers, and that was a perfectly executed sack bunt, but post 22 Hardhats do get the 1 out thanks to the 3-2 put out sack bunt from Frankie. And that will bring up the right fielder, Derek Potter, who was also a strikeout victim in his first plate appearance. Now 2 runners in scoring position. You have Schock on third base and Jewett on second. And that big bender there from McGuire is strike 1 here against Potter. Top of the 4th inning here. McGuire seeing his first inning of action as Brandon Susi went 3 innings pitched earlier in this ball game. Allowed 3 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts. McGuire stares down, gets the sign from Paris, sets and throws. The big bender on the inside part of the plate, and that is the first strikeout of the day for Kyle McGuire, and the second strikeout of the day for Derek Potter, who has struck out both plate appearances. And now Kyle McGuire settling down, allowed that big double from Schock in the very first batter he faced. Now really settled down and looking to get out of this jam with runners in scoring position at second and third here in the top of the 4th. Missoula with that big 4-1 lead here in this ball game. Playing a 7-inning game here against Missoula, and then one more 7-inning game right after this against Billings. So make sure you stay tuned and catch all Post 22 baseball action here throughout the entire day. McGuire kicks and throws, and that one is pushed into left field. Camphy's trying to track it, and it is over his head as Nick Jovetic was able to push that ball all the way to the wall, and Jovetic is in second base with a stand-up double. The second double allowed by McGuire in this inning. And that will bring the 2 runs as Schock and Jewett come across the plate to score and extend that Missoula lead 6-1 here in the top of the 4th inning. As Pulse 22 is looking to stop the damage and limit as much as they can, try and get back on offense to try and score some runs of their own. First pitch, Jacob Beeringstein puts right into center field, and there was going to be a play at the plate as Connor King tried to get him at the plate and save that run, but Beering got that single and advanced to second then on the throw as he gets the RBI double and advancing to second on the throw. First pitch he saw, Beering took him right dead center field. King played it off the hop and unable to get a play in the infield. That'll bring up number 13, John Mitchell, the first baseman, who is 1 for 2 up to this point in the ball game. And he looks at a big bender on the inside part of the plate for strike 1. 0-1 the count here to Mitchell. He was a part of that big 4-run first inning for this Missoula team, and now a 3-run 4th inning with 2 outs here is looking to close it out and get back on the offensive side. That one goes over the head of Mitchell, and now the count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike as McGuire's looking in for his sign from Timmy Paris. Here's the windup and the throw. McGuire catches that outside part of the plate. Now 1-2 with 2 outs here in this 4th inning. 3 runs have come across for Missoula against this Rapid City Hardhat club. And Kyle McGuire pitching for the first inning in this ball game. Brandon Susi got the first 3 innings, and now McGuire is looking to try and battle back and bring his Post 22 club back in this game. That one is fouled right to down the third base side and into the Post 22 dugout. So the count will remain 1-2 here against the big first baseman from Missoula, John Mitchell. Batting in the 3 spot today for this Missoula club. That fastball in the dirt from McGuire, unable to get it up in the zone, and that will even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. McGuire has thrown 20 pitches now in this inning. You always want to be weary about how high this pitch count gets, especially this early in the season, as these pitchers' arms are not conditioned enough to be throwing every day, to be throwing all 7 innings without getting sore. So that's why we've been seeing these last few games as that pitch comes in for ball 3, and now it'll be a full count, the first full count McGuire has seen today. But you give him a few innings, you usually hover around 60 to 70 pitches, so you're looking for McGuire to try and go deep in this ball game. And that's ball 4 to John Mitchell, and advancing on the play is Beering because Timmy Paris unable to handle that ball in the dirt. It bounced off his chest pad and kind of sputtered away, and Beering, who was being very mindful of the situation, was able to take third base. Now you have runners on the corners, and that'll bring up Hunter Paulson, the designated hitter, who is 0 for 2 up to this point, reached on a fielder's choice, came around to score at his first at-bat, and then struck out in his second. He has runners at the corners as Mitchell's on first base, Beering's on third base. 3 runs have already come across to score here in the top of the 4th inning, as Missoula leads 7-1 against your Post 22 Hardhats. Paulson looks at strike 1 there from McGuire, as McGuire's been using that breaking ball to his advantage very well and moving it on the inside and outside part of the plate. That ball in the dirt, but Timmy Paris able to knock it down and keep it in front of him. That will hold the runners where they at, but that will be ball 1. Now 1-1 the count here to the cleanup hitter for Missoula, Hunter Paulson. 2 outs here in the top of the 4th inning. McGuire with a pickoff move to first, almost got him. That was a really good move as Mitchell had to dive back to make it to the bag in time. McGuire with a really good pickoff move, really good footwork there, quick feet. It's what you like to see, a good strong throw over there low, and Vickers applying the tag, just couldn't quite get there, but you got to think this kid will definitely get a few of those this season. Here's the windup and the pitch, and that one is fouled directly behind our broadcast booth as Paulson now 1-2 the count to the cleanup hitter, 2 outs, and like I said earlier, 3 runs have come across to score in this inning, so McGuire just needs to bear down here and try and get out of this and limit the damage, and you got to get back on the offensive side and try to make up that 6-run deficit that you face right now. A big curveball on that inside part of the plate. Everyone kind of stopped there to see if he would get the call or not, but the blue, who's wearing black today, it decided that it was a ball, and that will even it at 2 balls in, 2 strikes here to Hunter Paulson. That one is lifted high into foul territory. Timmy Paris tracking it all the way towards the wall, and that is just over the backstop there, unable to get it and out of play. So we will live to see one more pitch. Still 2-2 the count. Kyle McGuire on the mound for the Post 22 Hardhats. Came in relief of Brandon Susi, who allowed 4 runs, 3 of them earned in that first inning. However, this 4th inning is proving not to be a whole lot better as 3 runs have come across. With now runners on the corners as John Mitchell is on first and Jacob Beering is on third. Hunter Paulson at the plate with a 2-2 count, and McGuire with the big pitch, the big winding curveball is ripped to Walker Paz at second. 4-3 easy put out there for the solid second baseman, and that will do it. That will be out number 3. Well, 3 runs came across on 3 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base for Missoula at the top of the 4th inning. Stay tuned. You are listening to Post 22 Hardhats Baseball on ESPN Radio Rapid City and always streamed live on post22live.com. Stay tuned. We got the bottom of the 4th inning coming up, and due up for the Hardhats is 5, 6, 7, Petrie, Fees, and Paris.
Where will you find Black Hills State University graduates? Everywhere, locally, nationally, and internationally. Black Hills State University is where community leaders are inspired, where future teachers are prepared, where global connections lead to business connections, and where underground research is changing the way we understand the universe. Visit bhsu.edu and enroll now at Black Hills State University, where you can earn your degree affordably and with campuses in Spearfish and Rapid City. Stay in the beautiful Black Hills. Where does your future begin? At Black Hills State University, where anything is possible.
Maintaining healthy eyes requires regular vision exams. Dr. Paula Sorensen at Envision Optical and Eye Care strives to provide quality vision solutions and exceptional customer service. She values the opportunity to build a lifelong friendly relationship with you and your family. Envision Optical and Eye Care on West Main, across from the guard camp.
This is Mark the Free.
Let's go!
And welcome back here to beautiful Billings, Montana, and we are looking to start the bottom half of the fourth inning. And due up is Eric Petrie. He looks at strike one. As he's facing McHugh. And McHugh in the windup tries to send a breaking ball to the outside part of the plate. Unable to do so as that one is down in the dirt for ball one. Now 1-1 the count here to Eric Petrie. And Petrie in his first at bat was walked but stranded at first base. And that one is ripped down the third base side, and it is called foul. That was a very close play. He thought that one might have had a hop over the third base side, but just foul. And you know Petrie wanted that one back. That would have been in the gap down that foul line, and he would have had extra bases coming out of the box. But we reset. Petrie's back in the box. McHugh is back on the bump, and we are looking for another pitch here now. 1-2 the count here to Eric Petrie. And that one is ripped foul once again. Eric Petrie making great contact. That was in deep left field. He's picking up on the speed of McHugh and really finding that ball well. However, you have two strikes on you. Got to be very protective here. Watch for that big bending curveball of McHugh, and you got to sit back and wait on it. Don't try too hard to take it anywhere. That one is fouled once again right off the ankle of Eric Petrie. Those always hurt the worst when it's right off the ankle. And I want to welcome back in Mark Benetti, who's been absolutely trying to get us on air and frantically trying to get this technology to work. Welcome back in, Mark. I know this isn't what we wanted, but you know, we get back on, we finally get to watch some baseball.
Yeah, go figure. Sometimes technology just does that to you. It's a fun world. Man, this has been a hectic last 20 minutes. I'm still trying to catch my breath.
Yeah, absolutely. You're running back and forth on the bus. And
huge assist goes to our bus driver, Zach, for letting me on the bus to get my Rush computer, my Rapid City Rush computer, to get us on the air here on ESPN Radio.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course we'd like to get on there. And Eric Petrie now has run the count full. That was another ball there from McHugh. It's 3-2 the count here. Petrie doing a nice job battling against McHugh, and you want to see him try and get good wood on the ball and make it into a base hit. And that one is ripped down the left field line once again. Petrie just showing his hand speed and bat speed, getting around on these pitches.
Yeah, I could be wrong. I'm just going to go out on a limb here. When he actually makes fair contact, probably going to go into left field.
Yeah, I could agree with that. If it's on the outer part of the plate, he might try to push it, but they're playing him in. And let's go ahead and continue the trend. That chop and foul ball right into the post 22 dugout. Nobody was hurt. The hands team down there was able to get it before it hit anybody, and Petrie's back in here. McHugh with the windup and the pitch, and Petrie fouls that one once again directly behind the boot this time. We stayed out of left field, and we're going to go ahead and see this again. This is going on 9 pitches right now, just a battle between these two gentlemen.
Well, that's what these Hardhats are going to have to do if they want to get back in this game. 7-1 the score. They've really got to start battling.
Absolutely, and that one is lifted in the outfield. That is in deep left center field, all the way back off the wall, off the high part of the wall, and Eric Petrie is going to hold up at second base, a stand-up double. That one had so much distance out there. If it would have been hit anywhere else in this field, it probably would have been out. That was hit to the deepest part of the field in 403, and that hit off the top part of the wall. A very nice job by Eric Petrie with his first hit of the day. And now in scoring position, that's what you need to do. You need big hits like that to get back into this ball game. And that'll bring up Cam Fees who was 6'3" put out in his first at bat. He'll look at ball one down in the dirt from McHugh, but 0 for 1 up to this point. And Cam Fees, we talked about, he always seems to get a hit in the right situation. He can fly on these base paths, so look for him to try and get Eric Petrie in motion. A base hit would score him from second base. And that one runs right off the plate in the left-handed batter's box for ball 2. Now falling behind early is McHugh. 2-0 the count here to Cam Fees in the bottom of the 4th inning. 7-1 the score. Missoula over your Post 22 Hardhats with just about half the game to go. That one on the inside part of the plate. Cam Fees swung and missed. That was a good slider there from McHugh, and Fees unable to track it. 2-1 the count here to the left fielder for the Hardhats. McHugh now from the stretch kicks and throws, and Fees sends that one off to the right side. Foul and out of play. Now 2-2 the count. A nice job battling here. This is what you need to do. McHugh has found success against this Hardhats offensive lineup, and now his pitch count's getting up to 43 pitches. They're looking to try and run that pitch count up so he can get out of this game and we can get in the bullpen. Cam Fees rips that one to third base, and with the stop is Shook, and he is able to make the throw over to Mitchell at first, and Fees is retired. And Shook did a nice job there holding Petrie at second base. Still have that runner in scoring position with 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Coming to bat for the Hardhats.
That'll bring up the catcher now, Timmy Paris, who had a big double in the 2nd inning, came around to score the only run for the Post 22 Hardhats. He's looking to trade places with Eric Petrie, as both of these gentlemen put their hits right off the wall, and he'll look at strike one right down the middle. And these gentlemen both have the power, and we've seen it today, so he's looking for another fastball that he can put out there.
And Timmy's hit a couple of extra base hits in the opening parts of the season, had a triple last week in the 2nd game.
That one is chopped foul down the third base side. Now 0-2 the count. He fell behind. He's fallen behind up this point. So now you got to protect, and you want to keep your head in there and try and just get any kind of wood on it. If you can hit it to the right side, that'd push Petrie over to third base. Another one ripped down that left field line, but that goes just foul. It seems like Paris and Petrie both are not phased by the speed difference, just a little ahead of it, sending them both down into the corner. McHugh now from the windup. Here's the kick and the pitch. That one just runs off the plate outside for ball 1, 1-2 the count here to Timmy Paris.
Good plate discipline there by Timmy Paris, because in this situation, when you're down, you're just looking to get things started, get a rally rolling. You'd be almost just swinging at everything at this point. So good for him. Sit back. You're behind on the count, so yeah, you want to protect, but you also have to have that discipline that, if this is going out of the zone, I can see another pitch.
Yeah, absolutely. Whenever you have 2 strikes on you, it's so hard to protect, but you can't be overzealous and expand the strike zone. And that is strike 3. Timmy Paris got buckled by that big breaking ball that started out looking like it was going to hit him and broke back over the plate. So McHugh getting his first strikeout of the day against this Post 22 lineup, and that is a backwards K. Never like to see that. Now Cooper Bowman up to the plate, who is 1 for 1. Got a single in his first plate appearance, is looking to bring in the run in Petrie, who's on second base. But he will have to wait for another pitch at least, because that one runs outside, and that will be ball 1, 1-0 the count here to Cooper Bowman, who's had a really good start to this season. He's another one of these younger guys that has really stepped up and been a real good player for this Post 22 team. Another one on the outside, and it doesn't catch any part of the plate, so that'll be ball 2 here. 2-0 here to Cooper Bowman.
And Coach Messer said the big thing with Cooper is that now that he's at the varsity level, it's all about seeing and discerning varsity level pitches.
Here's the kick and the pitch. There is a strike there on the inside part of the plate. And kind of touched on that. That is exactly what he said. He wants him not to expand the strike zone for pitchers. He needs him to be smart at the plate. He's a very good hitter. Just the discipline will come as the more pitchers he sees. And Bowman able to make a little bit of contact with that, fouls it straight down into the dirt for strike 2. Now 2-2, 1 out in the bottom of the fourth inning, and 2 outs in the bottom of the fourth inning with a runner on second base. That breaking ball is in the dirt. Now the count runs full here for Cooper Bowman, who was playing at shortstop today. And I'm pretty sure he'll be a fixture at that shortstop position here for the next couple seasons for this Post 22 club. He's a very gifted defensive player. And that one's ripped right into center field, but just an absolute rope out there to center field. But Jovetic is right there. It was hit directly to him, and that will be out number 3 as Bowman lines out to center field. Well, that will do it for that fourth inning. Now coming back is Kyle McGuire and this Post 22 defense for the top of the fifth inning.
For the Hardhats.
No runs on, 1 hit, no errors, and one runner left on base for Post 22 in that bottom of the fourth inning. When we come back, we will have the start of the fifth inning. You're listening to the official station of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball, ESPN Radio, Rapid City, and of course stream live on post22live.com.
Freedom Poet, and I want to tell you about 2 wonderful candidates for South Dakota legislature, Sean McPherson and Craig Eriks. I've known both of them for many years, and I trust them to be faithful champions of our precious Constitution. That includes how they defend our Bill of Rights. Faith, family, and freedom are very important to these men, and they cannot be bought or pressured to vote for anything that they think is harmful to individual freedom or our precious republic. Please vote June 7th in the Republican primary for Craig Eriks and Sean McPherson.
Paid for by Eriks for SD House and McPherson for House.
At Farm Bureau, when we talk about protecting what matters most, we're not just talking about things with walls and things with wheels. We're talking about people, your family. Everything that's important to you is important to us. That's why our agents are ready to help protect your future and give you peace of mind today. Visit us online or just stop by to see how Farm Bureau agents make insurance simple.
Contact Jeff or Julie in Rapid City, South Dakota to see how they make insurance simple.
Yeah. For those of you that want to know what we're all about.
Welcome back inside the press box here at Joe Hertz Field. I was trying to see it. I couldn't really see out there, but we got the pronunciation from the PA announcer here, and we are back in business. It says that ball is fouled by James Martin, the second baseman for this Missoula team, and he is looking to face Kyle McGuire. As there's a kick and a throw, and that one runs up high by McGuire. Martin is the leadoff hitter in this fifth inning for this Missoula team, but he is batting in the fifth spot. He is 1 for 2 up to this point with a single back in the first inning. McGuire kicks and throws, and he gets a strike one, a swing and a miss on Martin, who was unable to make any contact with that outside pitch. So McGuire finding some success on that lower outside part of the plate, looking to go back there and continue the success that he's found up to this point. McGuire with the kick and the throw, and that one is popped sky high in foul territory by the Missoula dugout, and Timmy Paris is there to make the catch for out number 1, as that will be a P2 in your scorebooks. And 1 up, 1 down here. Missoula coming off a big fourth inning that saw them get 3 runs.
Missoula, third baseman Spencer Schock
in that last inning, now leading 7-1 over your Post 22 Hardhats in the top of the fifth inning. Post 22 looking to get this comeback started. Spencer Schock is now in the batter's box, and he fouls away his first pitch that he sees from Kyle McGuire. And one of the things that Coach Messer touched on was the velocity of McGuire and how young he is and how much he could grow. This is definitely a gentleman that could be pitching for this team for a while down the road here. That one runs a little too far inside for our umpire behind the plate, and now evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike.
And the unfortunate thing, too, about that big top of the fourth they had is that it followed 2 back-to-back 1-2-3 innings defensively for the Hardhats. So going clean sheets the whole way and then giving up 3 after that, that's a big stinger.
Yeah, absolutely, and that pitch will run down from McGuire. 2-1 now the count here to Shook, and I believe there was 8 hitters retired in a row by Brandon Susi, and then that big fourth inning happened, so that's tough to see. As McGuire finds that inside part of the plate, gets his fastball located, and that is strike 2. He'll even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes here against Spencer Schock, who is 2 for 2 in this game. He started off that big fourth inning with a huge double into left center field. And, well, McGuire runs that pitch just a little too far inside, and Schock will take a free pass as he was hit by that pitch right in the back, and now he has reached base on every appearance that he's had. He's definitely one of the ones doing the most damage here to this post-22 pitching staff right now.
Left fielder Tyler.
That'll bring up the left fielder Tyler Jewett, who is 0 for 1, has a strikeout and then was hit by a pitch in his previous at-bat when he was facing Kyle McGuire. With a runner on first base and 1 out, McGuire looks in and leaves that big breaker, unable to get that wrist all the way over, and that snap down and left that breaker right over the head of Tyler Jewett for ball 1.
2 hit batters here for Kyle McGuire. He's just got to calm down, try and find that zone.
Yeah, and it's tough. He's already thrown 55 pitches now and only 1 1/3 innings pitched, and that'll be ball 2 as that one's in the dirt in the outside part of the left-handed batter's box. So, you know, when he came in that 4th inning, and then the Missoula team had this big 4th inning. It's tough to come back and pitch like that, but McGuire's doing everything he can to try and stay composed and keep his team in this. And there you go. There he'll catch the corner on that inside part as Jewett gets scared. Jewett kind of froze up, and now McGuire is 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike, the count with a runner on first as Schock was hit by a pitch in the previous at-bat. McGuire now sets, kicks, and throws, and that one is ripped to center, and we have a 6-4-3 double play, and they finished it, got it around. That will do it for the top of the 5th inning. Some good defense there from Cooper Bowman and Walker Paz. Very good middle infield, quick hands there, gets the double play for the post-22 Hardhats. When we come back, we will have the bottom of the 5th inning, and it'll be 8-9-1. Cooper Bowman, Justin Kramer, and Walker Paz due up for your post-22 Hardhats. Stay tuned, Hardhats fan. You're listening to the official station of Post-22 Baseball, ESPN Radio, Rapid City, and streamed live on post22live.com.
Rapid City Medical Center honors tradition. Hi, I'm Jennifer Tricano, Chief Executive Officer. Owned by physicians, we love this community because it's our home. We coach Little League, are veterans of the armed forces, and send our kids to school with yours. 14 specialties in all, we've treated your family's healthcare needs since 1948. Like Post-22 Baseball, we set higher expectations for ourselves because that's what our legacy demands. Call 342-3280 for an appointment.
Post-22 Hardhats Baseball here on ESPN Rapid City is brought to you by Sound Pro, the Physical Therapy Center, courtesy Subaru, Pioneer Bank and Trust, Pawn With Us, Shields, Ponderosa Screening, Printing and Embroidery, and Advanced Dental.
Welcome back inside the broadcast booth, and the first batter that we will see will be Justin Kramer. Excuse me. It will be 9-1-2. I was mistaken at the end of that first one, and Kramer rips that one into center field for a base hit. Justin Kramer, the leadoff hitter in this bottom of the 5th inning, is standing on first base with a single, and he kind of struggled last week, and it's nice to see him get a base hit like that. It could give him the confidence to really come up and hit like we all know he can.
Absolutely. And one of the benefits, too, to having Justin Kramer on the base path is that when he's on, he's arguably the most intelligent base runner this team has. Knows when to run, knows when to take those big leaps. Obviously, a lot of it has to do with signaling, but there's a high baseball IQ there that you just can't teach.
And that ball runs in as Walker Paz comes into the batter's box. 0 for 2 up to this point. He had a 4-1 put out and then hit into a double play in his last plate appearance. He's looking for his first hit of the day. But you are correct, Justin Kramer is so smart on the base path, and you mix that with his athleticism, And it's absolutely perfect. Speaking of athleticism, Justin Kramer is in safe at second with a stolen base. I couldn't have teed that up any better. I was about to talk about his speed and athleticism on the base path. Well, now he's in scoring position with a stolen base there on second. And Walker Paz with a 1-1 count is looking to get the second post-22 Hardhats run in with a base hit. That ball runs outside as Walker Paz was looking for a drag bunt. You look over at third base in Shock, and he is playing deep, so Walker Paz was looking to take advantage of it, but Shock is now ready, and Paz is ready to swing away as he looks at a strike on the outside part of the plate. And that will be the first strike for McHugh against Walker Paz. 2-1 the count here against the second baseman and leadoff hitter for this Hardhats club. There is strike 2 on Walker Paz, who thought he had a free pass once again to first base, but he has to stay and at least see one more pitch as he sees a full count pitch coming, a payoff pitch from McHugh to Walker Paz. And there's the walk, and the gentleman that led this post-22 team in walks last season finds his first one of the day today and trots the 90 feet over to first. And now runners on first and second with no outs. This is where you need to cut into this lead, is when you have runners on the base path with no outs. And that will bring up the center fielder, Connor King, who is 0 for 2 up to this point. 2 4-3 putouts he has seen in his first 2 at-bats, and he will look at ball 1 outside. And we'll get a little conference here from the Missoula coach and some action in the bullpen for this Missoula team. It looks like we might see a pitching change here later in this inning. I believe McHugh is still going to be able to face Connor King here because he's only thrown 66 pitches up to this point. He's kept his pitch count low in this ball game. And, you know, he's not starting to tire too much yet, but Connor King could really start to cut in this lead with a big base hit here, and you're going to have to start something here soon.
And, look, having somebody like Connor King try and start this rally like this, he's a young guy. This is his first, hopefully, full season with the Hardhats. This is a big moment for him early.
Absolutely, and that pitch runs low from McHugh, and that will be 2-0 is the count for Connor King. McHugh looking for the sign out of the stretch. Runners on first and second. Here's the kick and the pitch, and that one will catch the outside part of the plate. Now 2-1 the count against Connor King, and you're right, Connor King is a young kid, and he started off the season very well. I'm excited to see what he has to offer this post-22 club.
Well, your MVP award doesn't come lightly. You gave that to him in the very first game of the season, so it means something.
Yeah, absolutely. This kid is a very good ball player, and hopefully it can transpire. And King tries to do that drag bunt once again as Shook was playing deep on that third base side, trying to get a couple runners in scoring position, but that ball just barely bounced off the plate and rolled foul into the post-22 dugout. Now 2-2 the count here for Connor King. Base hit would score Justin Kramer from second, looking to make contact. And he just barely gets underneath that big breaking ball that was left up there. Fouls it directly behind him. Count stays even at 2 balls and 2 strikes for Connor King, the center fielder, batting in the 2-hole today for this Hardhats club. McHugh kicks and throws once again, and Connor King just doing a nice job battling against McHugh and this pitching staff. Just now looking at his 6th pitch of this at-bat. 2-2 the count. We have Justin Kramer at second, Walker Paz on first. No outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Missoula leads the post-22 Hardhats 7-1. And McHugh goes down low, unable to catch the zone, and that's in the dirt. The count is now full against Connor King. And a payoff pitch coming from McHugh here.
Comes back to plate discipline. That's what Coach Messer talked about. Big moment for King.
Another foul ball down the left field side, which King is a left-handed hitter. He can push it down the left. It's not like Paris and Petrie who are turning on the ball and ripping it down the left. He's pushing it. So you just look for him to try to find a hole in his defense and get another run across for his Hardhats. And that ball runs too far outside, and that will load the bases for the heavy-hitting Zach Solano coming up, trying to get his team back in to this ball game. He's the designated hitter today. We usually see him in center field or this DH spot, and by far one of the best hitters on this team. He led the team last year in RBIs, and he was top 3 in every major statistical category of every hitting category for his team. And it looks like we're going to have a pitching change here for Missoula against Zach Solano. We're going to go ahead and kick it to break while they let him warm up, and we're going to calculate some stats, see who's coming in to pitch. So stay tuned. You're listening to the official station of Post 22 Baseball, ESPN Radio Rapid City, and streamed live on post22live.com.
If you're a younger runner getting into running, you want a shoe that can do it all. You can train in, you can race in, it looks cool, has a lot of Under Armour attitude to it. That's the Bandit.
We call ourselves Bandits. That's the Under Armour way, right? It's how we design product. It's how we live our life here at Under Armour.
Inside the press box here at Joe Peart's Field, where we got a pitching change, and it looks like Davis Walker, the left-handed pitcher, will come in for the Mavericks. You got him warming up here, and we're trying to look at him. Looks like he's got good velocity. I haven't seen a breaking ball yet. He's just been throwing his fastballs. But the left-handed pitcher is coming up to face Zach Solano with the bases loaded in the bottom of the 5th. No outs here for the Post 22 Hardhats, who trail by 6. Missoula has the 7-1 lead against your Hardhats. And it's interesting to see, because right before we went to break, we were talking about Zach Solano and how he led the team in RBIs, and he was at the top of every statistical category. This kid just knows how to play baseball, and especially knows how to hit the ball in. You know, we got to watch him all last season, and it was something special.
And the big thing about Zach is not only can he hit, not only can he field, not only is he a leader, but he does it when the stakes are high. That was one of the big things Coach Messer told us about Zach last year when we were first starting to get to know some of these gentlemen, that Zach likes the spotlight. He loves the flashing light bulbs and everything, with cameras being photos being taken. This is one of those moments. Bases loaded, your team's down 6, you're trying to rally. This is his stage.
Absolutely. I think that was the first thing when we talked about Zach Solano that Coach Messer said. And that first pitch there from Walker, Davis Walker, is down low, and that'll be ball 1 against Zach Solano. The lefty working fast here. Kicks and throws, and that one's in the zone, and Solano sends that to shallow center field, and that is caught there by the second baseman in Martin. James Martin able to show some range over there. It was a little blooper looking like it might get down in shallow center, but Martin showing some range, able to make the catch, and that is the first out of the inning
First baseman
for
Vickers.
This Post 22 club. And that'll bring up the reigning South Dakota American Legion Player of the Year, Matt Vickers, who is 0 for 2 up to this point. He's looking for a big hit, and he skies that one into left field, and tracking it over there in left is Jewett, and he is able to make the play, but Kramer's tagging up and coming home. So an RBI sac fly there for Matt Vickers. Brings 1 run across to double the Post 22 score from 1 to 2, now trailing 7 to 2 in the bottom of this 5th inning. But you know, that's tough. You have the base loaded and your 2 best hitters both fly out, but you do get 1 run across, and you have a runner in scoring position in Walker Paz there, so it's tough to see. And that'll bring up Eric Petrie, who had a huge double off the wall in his last at bat, and that is chopped right to third base, and Schock was able to just field it and tag his base as the force was in play, and that will do it just like that. Goes from no outs to 3 outs, and your Hardhats able to push 1 run across on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base. And that will do it for the bottom of the 5th inning. We will come back with the 6th inning, and the Mavericks are up to bat. You're listening to the official station of Post 22 Baseball, ESPN Radio Rapid City, and stream live on post22live.com.
Where will you find Black Hills State University graduates? Everywhere, locally, nationally, and internationally. Black Hills State University is where community leaders are inspired, where future teachers are prepared, where global connections lead to business connections, and where underground research is changing the way we understand the universe. Visit bhsu.edu and enroll now at Black Hills State University, where you can earn your degree affordably and with campuses in Spearfish and Rapid City. Stay in the beautiful Black Hills. Where does your future begin? At Black Hills State University, where anything is possible.
Like this, y'all. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name. He doesn't need his name up in lights, he just wants to be heard.
And we are back here with the top of the 6th inning, and we will see the first pitch coming to Clayton Frankie. And he will look at ball one up high from Kyle McGuire, who is still on the mound for the post-22 Hardhats. He comes right back with a strike, and that is pushed into right field. Eric Petrie tracking it, and that will drop in just in fairgrounds, and unable to play it was Petrie. And he gets a good throw to second, but unable to get there in time. So Frankie will have that single, and it'll be an E9 charge to Petrie as he overplayed that ball that allowed Frankie to advance to second. So it's a single with an error to advance to second.
Tough break there defensively for Petrie, somebody a very reliable right fielder there, and that's, you hate to say it, it's not what his team needed right now down 5.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's kind of been the trend of this game that we've seen. Normally a sound defensive team just unable to really put it together for this entire game, and you're looking to remedy that in the second game. That'll bring up Derek Potter, and he looks at strike one. He's a victim of 2 strikeouts in this game, one by Brandon Susi and one by Kyle McGuire. So he's seen him before, and McGuire looking to get that big first out since he has a man in scoring position. And that one is lifted foul. Timmy Paris will track it all the way back, and he won't have a play on it, but that will be strike 2 there for Derek Potter. And 0-2 the count, so a couple pitches here for McGuire to play with as there's no outs, and Clayton Frankie is standing on second base for this Mavericks team. McGuire looking to get out of this jam and try and push his team back on the offensive side, and then only 2 more innings to go, so he's looking to get through and do everything he can to try and limit the damage and bring his team back. And a big breaking ball on the inside part of the zone, but unable to catch any part of the plate, so that'll be 1-2. That's a very good pitch to throw in that 0-2 count.
For as young as he is, he's got a great arsenal. He can only go up from here, and we're already seeing some great things.
Absolutely. This kid's very impressive on the mound. Yes, you can tell he's young. He's has some control issues here or there as that one goes high and away for ball 2, but you got to be happy with what you see from him and what he brings to the table moving forward for this pitching rotation that's really strong already, and he can only enhance that. Well, McGuire from the windup, couldn't quite get around on that curveball, and that goes right over the head of Potter, and that will put the count full 3-2 now. Started out 0-2. You don't want to lose a batter here. You start out 0-2. You cannot walk him here, and that's demoralizing as a pitcher. So look for McGuire to go with that fastball and just try and keep it low in the zone, get a ground ball out. And that is strike 3. Fastball caught the outside part of the plate, and that is a backwards K. Potter, a victim of 3 strikeouts in his 3 plate appearances, 2 by swinging and that one by looking. McGuire picks up his second strikeout of the day, and that is out number 1. And now we go back to the top of the order with center fielder Nick Jovetic, who is 1 for 2, a strikeout and a 2 RBI double, as he looks at ball 1 just a little too far outside the lefty. The left-handed Jovetic against a right-handed McGuire, looking to do battle right now. But a two RBI double in his last plate appearance. Jovetic has done some damage here today and walked in his first plate appearance and then struck out in his second. McGuire looking for that breaking ball again, just leaves it up a little too high, and that would be ball. That'll be ball 2, 2-0 the count here to the leadoff hitter for this Missoula Mavericks team, Nick Jovetic, playing in center field today for the Mavericks out there, and that sun's starting to really bear down on those outfielders. You see them trying to use their gloves as little visors, and that one runs too far inside, and that will be the third hit batter by Kyle McGuire. Jovetic will take a stroll down to first base due to the hit by pitch. And, you know, we talked about how young he is, and we've talked about, you know, some of the control issues, but no matter what, you still got to be happy with what you see. But, you know, it's getting to the point where you can't be allowing these free base runners.
Yeah, it's a great look at what's to come for this Hardhats club. Obviously, you know, Kyle, the control issues are a big thing. We were talking with Coach before this game, too, and something he wanted to see accomplished this weekend was that both on the hitting side of things offensively and on the pitching side of things, as we're going to get a pitching change, Kyle McGuire's afternoon's done, but command of the strike zone. You know, control issues are one thing. Controlling, you can get it in a certain ballpark in the zone. He wants these guys to command it so that it goes where Timmy Paris or if Sam Haig's catching where they call it, that's where it goes. So it's tough to see Kyle's afternoon come to an end on another hit batter, but the change will be made, and there's another person coming on out. So we'll go ahead and take a quick break. We'll be right back with the new hurler on the mound for the Hardhats in just a few moments here on ESPN Rapid City and on Post22Live.com.
Maintaining healthy eyes requires regular vision exams. Dr. Paula Sorensen at Envision Optical and Eye Care strives to provide quality vision solutions and exceptional customer service. She values the opportunity to build a lifelong friendly relationship with you and your family. Envision Optical and Eye Care on West Main.
The mic, he feels so unlike everybody else, alone in spite of the fact that some people still think that they know, but no, he knows the code. It's not about the salary, it's all about reality and making some noise, making a story, making sure his click stays up. That means when he puts it down, Tox picking it up. Let's go.
Who the hell is he anyway? He never really talks much, never concerned with status, but still leaving him starstruck. Humble through opportunities given despite the fact that many misjudge him cause he makes a living from writing raps. Put it together himself, now the picture connects. Never ask.
I've been grinding so long, been trying this shit for years. And I got nothing to show, just climbing this rope right here. And if there's a man upstairs, he kept bringing me rain. But I've been sending up prayers and something's changed. I think I finally found my hallelujah. I've been waiting for.
But he did hit 3 batters. That third one prompted his removal from the game to lead the way for Holden Jackson. The big thing we saw about him last week, Teddy, he's got a 12-6 curveball that is a heck of a clock face to measure 12-6 because it's got a heck of a break.
Yeah, absolutely, and it breaks a lot. You're not kidding. And he will have that first pitch, and he'll be facing the first batter is Jacob Beering as Holden Jackson goes just a little bit too low, and that is ball 1.
Number 26, Holden Jackson.
That is ball 1 to Beering, and Beering is 1 for 3 up to this point. He reached on an error and came around to score the first run of the game for either team in the top of the first, and he had a 5-3 put out and RBI single in his last at bat. So Beering has found some success, but Holden Jackson ripped right back to Jackson as that one, he turns around and throws it to Cooper Bowman, who was unable to catch it at the force at second base. Holden Jackson, the ball was a little high, but it was in the glove there of Cooper Bowman, and it just popped out there. Tough break there, Holden Jackson. That's what he came in and did what he was supposed to do to get the out, but unable to record the out as Beering will reach on that E6, and all the runners will advance. Now bases are loaded, only 1 out in this ball game. Holden Jackson is now facing the first baseman John Mitchell, and he swings and misses. John Mitchell with strike 1, 0-1 the count. Bases loaded for the Missoula Mavericks, and it looks like Holden Jackson will have a little conference with Timmy Paris on the bump, and You have Beering on first, Jovetic on second, and Clayton Frankie on third for the Mavericks. Of course, up to the plate is John Mitchell, the first baseman. If Holden Jackson can get a ground out here, you can turn the double play. This middle infield is awesome with how fast their hands are in turning those double plays.
And you know what, the exchange from Jackson there to Bowman could have been a 1-6-3 double play to end this all, but things are a little tougher, but that play is still in effect. You can still end this getting two.
Absolutely. You can still end this inning without allowing a run crossing, but you got to stay low in the zone and get that ground ball out. And there's that big bending breaking ball that you were talking about earlier. Another swing and a miss. John Mitchell unable to catch up with it. That ball started in the zone, and the right-handed pitcher of Holden Jackson, the ball started in the zone and ran off the plate into the left-handed batter's box for strike two. 0-2, way ahead of Mitchell at this point. And there's another curveball, and that gets under the feet of Timmy Parison. All runners will advance 90 feet, and that means Clayton Frankie will come in to score for the Missoula Mavericks, and that is now 8-2. They have a 6-run lead over the Rapid City Post 22 Hardhats, and unfortunately we were talking about how that double play could end this here with very minimal damage, but now the double play is no longer in effect. Now you have your corners in trying to save that run in that middle infield, just trying to get this out. And that ball is ripped into center field by John Mitchell, and making the catch out there is Connor King, and he sends it into third and holds up the runner at second in Beering, but Jovetic will score on the sac fly, and just like that, the next two batters have been put up. 2 runs as Mitchell gets the F8, but the sac fly in your scorebook, and that extends the Mavericks lead now 9-2 with a 7-run lead here in the top of the 6th inning. Holden Jackson on the mound for Post 22, and he gets a fastball in that outside part of the plate, and that is a swing and a miss by Hunter Paulson, the DH for this Mavericks club. And now 0-1, Holden Jackson jumping out early.
Hunter Paulson still has a man on second there, too. Jacob Beering is sitting there waiting to be brought around 180 feet away from home.
Yeah, you have a runner in scoring position. You got to be careful. A base hit could score him and extend that lead even more, and that you don't want that. That one is ripped down the left field side, and it is foul, just out of the outstretched glove of Justin Kramer. Couldn't quite get over there, so we'll send somebody down to go get that, and we will all reset and try to do this whole dance once again. Holden Jackson ahead now of Hunter Paulson. 0-2 count. Look for him to come with that big bending breaking ball that he has so much. That thing just rolls off the table once it gets to the batters, and it's a late break, which makes it that much harder to hit. Jackson with the kick and the throw, and that is off the plate, just a hair. Thought we might see another backwards K there, but just a bit outside, and now 1-2 the count. Holden Jackson facing Hunter Paulson, the designated hitter for this Mavericks club.
And Paulson thought that was going to be a called strike 3. You saw him cock his back, get ready to throw it out to his dugout so he could come running back, but it didn't happen.
And that one just runs too far in. Holden Jackson unable to get the rotation on that curveball. He was looking as that is his put-out pitch, but it ran too far inside and hit Paulson. Another hit batter now, and that will give Paulson a free ride to first base, and now James Martin, the second baseman, is up for this Mavericks team. 1 for 3 up to this point. His hit coming in the top of the first inning, and he had a 6-3 put out and popped out in foul territory to Timmy Paris in his third at bat, and he looks at strike 1 from Holden Jackson. And there are 2 outs in the top of the 6th inning. Missoula leads 9-2 over the Post 22 Hardhats. And with 2 outs, you're just looking to get out of here. And another swing and a miss there from James Martin. Now jumping out to a quick 0-2 lead is Holden Jackson, looking to come back and not allow Missoula to tack on any more runs, as they have come across for 2 in this 6th inning so far.
Big spot here for Jackson because he's had a couple of costly errors with 2 strikes in the count already.
And that one is swung and popped foul right into the fence behind us. Yeah, he has had those errors, and it's been all over the field, which has been tough. But that's how that's how baseball season goes this early. You're still working stuff out, and there's still some things you can take from this game, but you just want to get out and try to get that comeback rolling.
And a pass ball with 2 strikes to knock in the first runner, and then 2 strikes hit the batter, and then another one gets away there from Paris. That's another pass ball. Everybody's got to move 90 feet.
Yeah, that was a real interesting pass ball too, because it bounced off Paris's glove and it came up and bounced off of the batter in James Martin, and it kind of went off into the first base side of foul territory, and Timmy Paris didn't know where that ball was going. So, once again, these struggles just continuing in this game for the Hardhats, but they're still battling in there. And Holden Jackson is looking to get this payoff pitch, and that breaking ball hangs just a little too high. That'll be ball 2 to James Martin. 2-2 the count here against the second baseman for the Missoula Mavericks. Holden Jackson going out of the windup right now with those runners. He's doing that quick footwork, and he gets the low pitch, and he gets him to go. A kind of delayed call from the umpire. James Martin is struck out, and that will be the 3rd out of the inning. There were 2 runs scored on 1 hit, I believe 2 errors, and 2 men left on base for that inning. That will do it for the top of the 6th inning. When we come back, the Hardhats will be on offense, and we will see Cam Fees, Timmy Paris, and Cooper Bowman. Stay tuned. You're listening to the official station of Post 22 Baseball, ESPN Radio, Rapid City, and you could always watch and listen live on post22live.com.
This is Mark the Freedom Poet, and I want to tell you about 2 wonderful candidates for South Dakota legislature, Sean McPherson and Craig Eriks. I've known both of them for many years, and I trust them to be faithful champions of our precious Constitution. That includes how they defend our Bill of Rights. Faith, family, and freedom are very important to these men, and they cannot be bought or pressured to vote for anything that they think is harmful to individual freedom or our precious republic. Please vote June 7th in the Republican primary for Craig Eriks and Sean McPherson.
Paid for by Eriks for SD House and McPherson for House.
At Farm Bureau, when we talk about protecting what matters most, we're not just talking about things with walls and things with wheels. We're talking about people, your family. Everything that's important to you is important to us. That's why our agents are ready to help protect your future and give you peace of mind today. Visit us online or just stop by to see how Farm Bureau agents make insurance simple.
Contact Jeff or Julie in Rapid City, South Dakota to see how they make insurance simple.
Rapid City Medical Center honors
Bottom of the 6th inning, we will see the leadoff hitter in Cam Fees playing in left field for this Hardhats club. 0 for 2 up to this point, still seeking his first hit of the ball game, and he's going to be facing Davis Walker, who came in, only had to throw 4 pitches in that last inning, but it's looking like he's going to try and close out this game for the Mavericks. Kind of getting down to your final 6 offensive outs. Post 22 Hardhats need to make something happen here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Walker goes low and outside for ball 1 here against Fees, who, if he gets on the base path, he can really be an asset for you to come around and score.
Great all-around athlete, even better defensively in left field.
That one runs a little high and outside as well. That's ball 2. Now, Cam Fees wears the 2-0 on his back. That's count that he has right now. 2 balls, no strikes here to the left fielder for the Hardhats. Walker kicks and throws, and that one goes down in the dirt. That'll be a 3-0 count. 3 balls, no strikes. You need base runners right now. You know Cam Fees is probably going to be taking a pitch here. Try to get Walker to pitch a strike to him, let alone 2. So Cam Fees looking for that free pass. And that one is in there right down the middle of that fastball. Cuts over the heart of the plate, and that 3-1 count is now Cam Fees has that 3-1 count. Now he has that green light. If it's over the plate, he's going to be hacking away to try and get an extra base hit. And he rips that into left field. That's over the head and 2 hops off the wall. Cam Fees already on his way to second base, and he will have a stand-up double. He was flying out of the batter's box. That one was tattooed on a rope down the left field line and 2 hopped off the wall. So Cam Fees in scoring position as the leadoff hitter is now on second base And a nice job there by Cam Fees. That'll bring up the catcher, and Timmy Paris, who was 1 for 2 today. He scored the Hardhats' first run on it and got a big double in that second inning. He's looking to trade places here with Cam Fees. The first pitch he sees, however, is a two-seam fastball that doesn't run enough inside on the plate, so that is a 1-0 count. Ball 1 here to the big catcher and Timmy Paris. Walker kicks and delivers, and Timmy Paris rips on that one, and that was low and in the dirt, but you know, a tough pitch to lay off of there, and now Timmy Paris, that count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Comes back to plate discipline. You want to destroy the ball, you want to hit it, you need the right pitch to do it.
Absolutely. Walker kicks and throws, and that's right over the heart of the plate. And Timmy Paris fouls out one over to the third base side and into the post 22 dugout here. So now 1-2 the count, and you never want to be behind in the count, so you got to protect here. But Timmy Paris is still looking for something he can drive and try and bring Cam Fees across. That one stays a little too tall for the big catcher. He's tall, but he's not that tall, so that'll even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. We are in the bottom of the 6th inning. Cam Fees led it off with a big double into left off the wall. And now Timmy Paris up to bat. Post 22 trailing 9-2 against the Missoula Mavericks. Looking to get their comeback bid started, and Walker will try a pickoff move to second base, but Cam Fees is not fooled by that. Has to dive to get back, but he is back in time. So now we will reset. We got Timmy Paris back in the batter's box, Walker back on the bump, and Cam Fees taking his lead there at second base with the kick and the throw, and that is ripped down the third base side and overthrown from Boris to Schock, and that is an error as Bierig tried to go to third base in Schock, and he just overthrew him, tried to get that lead runner in Cam Fees, which is tough. So now Timmy Paris is on first base and Cam Fees is on third. You got runners at the corners, and now a little of those mistakes are starting to happen to the Mavericks the Hardhats have been trying to battle through this entire game.
That is an error that could come back to bite Missoula if this Hardhats club ends up ripping a 6-run rally off within the next 6 offensive outs that they still have. That could be very costly.
That very well could be, and now that will bring up Cooper Bowman playing shortstop for this post 22 team. He is 1 for 2 up to this point, and flew out to center field in his last at bat. He looks and swings at the first pitch he sees and fouls that back, and now Walker will try once again, but that one is too tall up for Cooper Bowman, and that will be ball 1. 1-1 the count here to the shortstop. And we talk so much about the youth of this team, and Cooper Bowman's one of the pinnacles of that. He's a very, very gifted defensive player. That one just still a little too tall there for Bowman. Now 2-1 the count. Very gifted defensive player. His hitting is coming along better, and he will become a really good hitter. But this is just that youth of this team. And we talked to Coach Messer about it earlier, about the farm system. And that one's ripped high into the air into foul territory over by first base. And Mitchell plays it and makes the catch in foul territory for out number 1 as Cooper Bowman is retired. But
out
just
there.
Real excited about that young talent coming up, and Cooper Bowman really shows that.
Yeah, a lot of youth on this team, a lot of guys getting inserted into certain places. You got to keep in mind, you lost 3 players last year from aging out, going to college, and pursuing other endeavors.
Justin Kramer now up to the plate. He is 1 for 2. He has an RBI and a stolen base with that single and a run scored. So he's having him a very good day at the plate, and he looks at ball 1 up high. 1-1 the count here to Kramer, who is batting in the 9th spot and playing in the hot corner today. And he absolutely tattooed the ball right up the middle in his last at bat. And he does it once again right over the head of the second baseman and bloops it in, and that will bring Cam Fees in to score. So another RBI there for Justin Kramer. He gets his 2nd consecutive hit. And drives in Cam Fees. Now, post 22 narrows the deficit to 6, 9-3 the score, and we will go back to the top of the order here with Walker Pause.
Second baseman Walker Pause.
With runners on first and second. Timmy Paris advanced to second on the Kramer single, and Justin Kramer standing on first base. Walker Pause looks at a pitch, strike one, right at the belly button across the plate, and he's looking to understand. This the first time he's seen Walker, so I guess I can't call Walker because they're both Walker. We got Walker Pause and Davis Walker, and Pause hits that right chopper back, blooper back to Walker, and that is played over by first. That is just too much of a tongue twister. I gotta say, Davis Walker, Walker Pause. That was hard. Not gonna lie, that was tough. But Davis Walker throws out Walker Pause before he could get to first base. So that'll be the second out of the inning. However, Kramer and Paris both advance. Now 2 runners in scoring position, and a base hit would score both these gentlemen as Connor King steps into the batter's box to try and cut into this deficit. And he will look at strike one from Davis Walker in the first pitch he sees.
Tongue twisters in this business are fun.
Oh, that was tough. I stumbled over myself. That was hard. I'm going to have to try to do that. Connor King looking at his second pitch, and that is low and outside. That'll be ball 2. Now 0-2, 2-0 the count to Connor King. It's tough not having this scoreboard here. You're used to just looking up and you get to keep the count, and now with the scoreboard not working, which is an unfortunate, and it's nothing to do with this Billings program. That somebody decided they needed the scoreboard control, I guess, and broke in and took that. But Connor King looks at another ball. Now 2-1 the count here to the center fielder batting in the 2 spot. And he rips it right to second base. And it is bobbled there by Martin, but able to recover and get the third out. He throws King out for the third out of the inning. A 4-3 put out to end things, and that will do it for the 6th inning. When we come back, we will have the 7th and final inning of this ball game with your Post 22 Hardhats trailing the Missoula Mavericks 9-3. Stay tuned. You're listening to the official station of Post 22 Baseball here on ESPN Radio Rapid City, and always streamed live at post22live.com.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Tricano, Chief Executive Officer. Owned by physicians, we love this community because it's our home. We coach Little League, are veterans of the armed forces, and send our kids to school with yours. 14 specialties in all, we've treated your family's healthcare needs since 1948. Like Post 22 Baseball, we set higher expectations for ourselves because that's what our legacy demands. Call 342-3280 for an appointment.
If you're a younger runner getting into running, you want a shoe that can do it all. You can train in, you can race in, it looks cool, has a lot of Under Armour attitude to it. That's the Bandit.
We call ourselves Bandits. That's the Under Armour way, right? It's how we design product. It's how we live our life here at Under Armour.
This moment all my life now, all my dreams are coming true, yeah. I've been waiting.
Base, and we'll go around the horn, and that will start the 7th inning for Post 22 Hardhats baseball. And due up first for the Missoula Mavericks is number 21, the third baseman, Spencer Schock, who up to this point is 2 for 2, and he's been hit by a pitch as well. Reach base on all 3 occasions, and Holden Jackson is looking to remedy that. And that one is chopped right to Cooper Bowman at short. 6-3 put out in the books. First pitch, 1 out. Spencer Schock is going back to the dugout. A nice job getting the ground ball out, and good fundamentals there from Cooper Bowman.
Can't ask for a more efficient out. 1 pitch, 1 hop, 1 throw. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. That was quick. That's one of the easiest calls for us to do, especially with the 1 pitch, and you're good to go. If he could get out of this inning in 3 pitches, I'd be impressed.
We still have yet to see that, by the way.
And we will have to wait once again as that pitch runs too far inside to Tyler Jewett, the left fielder, who is 0 for 2 up to this point, hitting to a 6-4-3 double play. in his last plate appearance. He looks at ball one from Holden Jackson. Holden Jackson now coming out of the windup, and he catches that outside corner with the fastball to even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. And you really like to see the fast feet from Holden Jackson when he's in the windup. It throws off the timing, and that's just something that we were talking with Coach Messer about. They were kind of tinkering with a little bit with him, and then Riley McSherry as well. You like to see that. And that's another fastball that catches the inside part of the plate this time instead of the outside, and that will be strike 2. Now 1-2 the count here to Tyler Jewett, as Holden Jackson is in control right now. 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning. This is the last inning of this ball game, and Missoula Mavericks lead 9-3 over the Post 22 Hardhats. Just a bit outside. I love saying that line while I'm broadcasting baseball. Holden Jackson evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes, looking to get the second out of the inning against Tyler Jewett.
Bob Euchre would be proud.
Oh, here's the windup and the pitch. And that one is chopped right to Justin Kramer. Third, short hopped him. He's able to recover and get it over in time for the second out. A nice job there by Kramer. He's always been a baller over there at third base, and they call it a hot corner for a reason. He knocked it down with his chest, stayed with it, and got the out.
Yeah, it's always a good sign defensively when you look in the scorebook and you see 6-3, 5-3. Infield's doing their job. People are staying efficient. Keep the game simple. Keep it rolling.
Yeah, fundamentals will win you 90% of the games, so you just got to stay with that. And that will bring up Clayton Frankie, the catcher for this Post 22 teams, and he looks at ball 1 to start off this at-bat. Clayton Frankie is 1 for 2 up to this point. Struck out in his first plate appearance, had a sac bunt in the 4th inning, and then had a single at his last at-bat. And that one is ripped foul down the first base side and out of play. So that will even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Frankie was the one to get that big 6th inning started where 2 runs were pushed across as he got the single and then extended that to second base on the air from Eric Petrie. Another foul ball down the right side and out of play. Now 1-2 the count here from Holden Jackson to Clayton Frankie. And this could be, you can get a 1-2-3 inning. You got to get back on the sticks. You don't want to be on defense any longer than you can if you're trying to make a comeback because you can't score any runs on defense. So Holden Jackson looking to close it out right here. And that one runs off the plate, trying to get him to fish a little bit, but runs a little too far off the plate. Now 2-2 the count here to Frankie. And Holden Jackson, look for him to go right after him with that fastball. He doesn't want to throw another pitch here. He had 1 to waste there, but he wants to get this inning done and back in the dugout. But that fastball that was coming was too low, and now the count runs full, and a payoff pitch coming here from Holden Jackson. This will be the first payoff pitch that he will have to throw in the 2 innings in relief that he's been in.
Coach Messer talked about situational response. How do these guys respond in a situation? Holden Jackson tries to end the inning. The next pitch is fouled off. But going back to that point, this is something Coach Messer talked about last week for this week. How do you respond in certain situations? Can we count on you when maybe a regional title's on the line?
Absolutely, and it starts with these kind of games, the games that you're down late, and Holden Jackson kicks and throws. That one's just a 2-bit high, and Clayton Frankie gets the walk, the free pass over there to first base, but touching on that point, I'm glad you brought that up. That's when early on, that's when you know, because you get that baseline and you progress. And this is definitely one kid that impresses you. Holden Jackson has impressed me, at least, in the 2 outings that we've seen him so far. So that'll bring up Derek Potter, who's been a strikeout victim in all 3 of his plate appearances. He looks at strike 1 on that outside part of the plate. He had 2 swinging strikeouts in the 2nd and the 4th, and then a backwards K in that 6th inning. With a man on first due to the walk, Clayton Frankie just got the walk in that previous batter. And Derek Potter playing right field will look at strike 2, that big breaking curveball once again hitting that outside part of the plate. And this is another gentleman that has that real big curveball. Then he can also really switch it up and hit you with that slider that you may think it's a curveball and you'll be swinging over it. So he has a really good arsenal of pitches at his disposal. And strike 3, another strikeout. All 4 times at the plate, Potter has struck out, and you got to thank Holden Jackson there for sending his team back into the dugout. Now 3 final outs away from the end of this ball game. Post 22 has some ground to make up, but the Hardhats are not out of it yet. 9-3 the score heading into the bottom of the 7th inning. Stay tuned. You're listening to the official station of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball, and always stream live on post22live.com. When we come back, we will have the final 3 outs of this game.
Where will you find Black Hills State University graduates? Everywhere, locally, nationally, and internationally. Black Hills State University is where community leaders are inspired, where future teachers are prepared, where global connections lead to business connections, and where underground research is changing the way we understand the universe. Visit bhsu.edu and enroll now at Black Hills State University, where you can earn your degree affordably and with campuses in Spearfish and Rapid City. Stay in the beautiful Black Hills. Where does your future begin? At Black Hills State University, where anything is possible.
Maintaining healthy eyes requires regular vision exams. Dr. Paula Sorensen at Envision Optical and Eye Care strives to provide quality vision solutions and exceptional customer service. She values the opportunity to build a lifelong friendly relationship with you and your family. Envision Optical and Eye Care on West Main, across from the guard camp.
This is Mark.
Zach Solano, Matt Vickers, Eric Petrie. Those are the minimum amount of hitters that we will see in this 7th inning. Hopefully we see more, but right now those 3 are due up, and Solano stepping into the batter's box. 1 for 3 up to this point. Got a hit back in the 1st inning, made it all the way to third base, but was stranded there. He is looking to make this a multi-hit game, and he swings and fouls that one right into the dirt for strike 1. 0-1 the count here to Zach Solano.
You got a heck of 3 batters starting off this inning. These are 3 guys that can really get a rally started. You got to pick up 6 runs here, otherwise that's the end of game 1.
Yeah, and that is high and outside, so Solano, the count goes even, 1 ball, 1 strike, and that's true. If you any part of the lineup, you'd want these 3 hitters up if you're trying to make a comeback. So, you know, it's going to be a tough comeback, but these 3 are definitely there to start. And Solano sends that one into center field, but making the diving catch was Jovetic out there in center field. You got to give credit where credit's due. That young man laid out and made a heck of a catch, and Solano thought he had a base hit there, but Jovetic made a very, very good diving catch, and that'll be out number 1 and bring up Matt Vickers, the left-handed, defending, reigning, undisputed American Legion High School baseball, American Legion Baseball Player of the Year. He's looking to get some started for his team, and he looks at one a little too high and tight for ball 1.
Undisputed. Does that mean it comes with a belt?
You know, I was thinking about that. I channeled my inner UFC announcer or something like that. That I just wanted to keep it going. That one, first one goes high and tight. That one goes low and away for ball 2. Now 2-0 the count here to Matt Vickers, who's a very dangerous hitter. And if you fall behind to him, you're going to have to come with that fastball, and he can absolutely tattoo that fastball. But he's going to have to wait to try and see that fastball because that pitch went high. Now 3-0 the count, quickly ahead here of Davis Walker. And that'll be ball 4. That one a little too far outside. Matt Vickers, as dangerous of a hitter as he is, very patient at the plate. Understand base runners right now. Any way you make a comeback is with people on the base path. And with 1 out, Matt Vickers will take a stroll to first base, and that'll bring up Eric Petrie, who is 1 for 2 up to this point in the ballgame and hit a huge double off the wall. It was almost put out of this ballpark at the deepest park. He looks at strike 1 here against Davis Walker. Walker kicks and throws, and that one is ripped down the third base side, but on the wrong side of the bag, that one stays foul, and we've seen this from Eric Petrie all day today, hitting those foul balls down that way. He's absolutely seeing the ball very well.
Seeing it well, timing's just a bit off. He gets that timing locked up, he's going to have another deep shot.
That breaker does not break and stays high and outside, as Davis Walker now has a 2-1 count here against Eric Petrie. Petrie sends that one opposite side, decided to switch things up and push that one out of play down the first base side now as that ball runs foul, and that'll even the count at 1 ball and 2 strikes, for Eric Petrie. Petrie now evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Davis unable to find that strike zone with that pitch. Now 2 balls, 2 strikes here to Petrie, looking to find something he can drive and maybe get an alleyway to get some extra bases. And that one is pushed into the gap between third and shorts, and that will be Eric Petrie's second hit of the ball game, and everybody will advance 90 feet. Matt Vickers now in scoring position, and that will bring up Cam Fees, who had a big double off the wall in his last plate appearance, came around to score for that, started the 6th inning off. He's looking for another clutch hit right here that could score Vickers from second base. That one low and in the dirt, and able to block it, though, is Frankie for Missouri. But that will be ball 1 here to Cam Fees, who is 1 for 3, and as I mentioned earlier, had that big double in the 6th inning. That one's too tall and outside there for Cam Fees. Now 2-0, same number he wears on his back. This is that 2 times in a row that he's had that 2-0 count.
Very crafty line, too, by the way. I got to give you your props while I have a moment to with the coach coming out. Interesting point about Petrie's hit, by the way. So he looks at back-to-back breaking balls, and all of a sudden in my head I'm thinking, well, the second we get a fastball here, he's probably going to drill it. Lo and behold, there's a low fastball drilled in the left.
Yeah, a fastball hitter, or he is a fastball hitter just looking for it, and I believe we're going to get a pitching change here. It's number 17, Ricky Stevens, will be the new pitcher for this Missoula Mavericks team. We'll go ahead and take a quick little break while we tabulate some stats and let this gentleman warm up. So when we come back, we will have Cam Fees finish his at-bat and continue with the bottom of the 7th inning. You're listening to Post 22 Baseball on ESPN Radio, Rapid City, and live on Post22Live.com.
Honda knows you expect a lot from your car. But we wanted to give you even more. So we gave the Civic, the best-selling car in its class, even more horsepower. More room than ever. And a stylish new exterior. Introducing the all-new Civic, the 2016 North American Car of the Year. Nothing compares to a Honda.
Where will you find Black Hills State University graduates? Everywhere. Locally, nationally, and internationally. Black Hills State University.
Ricky Stevens, the new pitcher here for Missoula, and just watching him, he looks like a fastball pitcher. Yeah, he looks like he has a pretty decent curveball here, but a low-velocity pitcher. This is going to be something different for this Post-22 lineup. They've seen these pitchers with some high velocities lately, but Ricky Stevens is just throwing them off, and that could throw the timing off here, and especially Cam Fees, who has to come in the midst of his at-bat and try and make something happen. Down 6 runs here in the bottom of the 7th. You got a runner on first and second. Matt Vickers on second due to a walk, and Eric Petrie on first base thanks to a hit. And Cam Fees will look at the pitch in the dirt from Ricky Stevens. The first pitch from Stevens is a ball.
3-0 now the count to Fees. Interesting seeing a pitching change during an at-bat. You don't see that very often.
You don't. You usually see those pitchers get to at least finish that hitter. And that'll be ball 4. That will load the bases up for Timmy Paris coming up. And he always has a big bat, has so much power behind his swing, and he could definitely cut this lead real short. He's already put a double off the wall in his first at-bat in the 2nd inning, and he's looking to do this once again. And he rips that one down the left field side, down the third base side, and into the Post-22 dugout. but nobody was hit by the ball, and we are back to it. 0-1 the count here to the catcher for this Hardhats club. And that one is ripped to the third base side. Once again, foul, but not quite as foul as Schock was able to at least catch up to that one and play it. So now 0-2 the count. You fall behind early. You got to protect here.
By the way, stat line for Davis Walker, 2 1/3 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned, 3 walks, and a K.
And that one is ripped in the hole between Schock and the shortstop in Bering, and it was also bobbled up in left field. 2 runs will come across to score, and Timmy Parrish will be standing on second base with a heck of a hit. It'll be a 2 RBI single, or excuse me, 1 RBI, as the other one will get credited on that error. But Timmy Parrish really helping his club and pushing across 2 runs to narrow it 9-5. Still a steep hill to climb, but you got 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th, and Cooper Bowman up at the plate. And that one was ripped right back into the fence directly in front of us, and that will be strike 1 there for Cooper Bowman.
Yeah, if there's no fence or plexiglass here, you're probably getting a new set of teeth.
Yeah, and I was looking down at my book, so I look up and just hear the tink, and it kind of gave me a little startle. Cooper Bowman swings and misses, and that will be strike 2 for him. 1 for 3 up to this point, had a single back in the bottom of the 2nd inning.
Big at bat here for Bowman. This is where discipline comes in, and he's already in an 0-2 hole.
And this is what you like to see. Well, these young guys will handle it. And he pushes that one high into right field. Going back is Potters, and that'll be a sac fly as Cam Fees. There is no way they're going to throw him out. He is too fast, and you don't want to trade an out in that situation. You do get a run, but you only have the 1 out left here, so it's tough. It's tough there, but still pushed 1 run across.
Third baseman Justin Kramer.
And that will bring up Justin Kramer, third baseman, and he's hit it hard. The last 2 times been up. He's 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs and a stolen base up to this point. And he looks at strike 1 as that breaking ball does get in there. So Justin Kramer having a good day at the plate, and he's looking to try to trade places there with Timmy Parrish on second base, who is the lone base runner right now for this Hardhats club. And Justin Kramer rips that one to left field. This could be it, and that is making the catch is Jewett out there, and that will end the ball game. Your final score will be 9-6 in favor of the Missoula Mavericks over your post-22 Hardhats. That is the first loss of the season for the Hardhats, and it was a tough game, Mark, but there's some things you can take out of it, and especially with how sloppy everything started in the beginning, to tighten that up as the game progressed. It shows a lot of fortitude from these guys and this team.
Yeah, 4 runs in that first inning here, and not to try and sound unintelligent with this comment here, but if you take 3 of those runs out right now, you're tied. So if you don't give up as much damage, if you limited damage when you had the opportunity to, and it's not even just that first inning, Teddy. You look at the top of the 4th too, a 3-spot put on there. Not the best middle inning to have when you started making a comeback. You had a 3-run game at that point. So 9-6. You'd like to see better decisions made. You'd like to see some better baseball, but that's why you have these games in the early parts of the season, and that's why it's always a transition starting off a brand new year. So look, 3 games in the books, you're 2-1. I think if a comparison needs to be made, you take a look back at last season when the team started off 0-6 and got no hit in one of those 6 losses. So 2-1, still a great start, but you have an even tougher opponent in the Billings Royals coming up. You have to get ready for that. Short-term memory, an absolute key in this scenario. Get this loss out of your head and move forward.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly it. And you're right. This is a tougher opponent because this Billings teams beat Missoula in the previous game before us. But like I said, it's still early in the season. You could be 2-1, and you touched on it perfect. Look how far this team went last year, starting 0-6. So you definitely want to win them all, but you're never going to win them all. and you gotta take it, and you gotta learn from the mistakes that you had in these games. And I think we're going to take just a little break here in between the games. These teams are going to switch sides on the dugouts and maybe grab a drink or something, and we will come back with the Billings Royals and the Post 22 Hardhats do battle in the second game of this doubleheader today here in Billings, Montana. So when we come back, we will have all that action brought to you here live on ESPN Radio, Rapid City, and of course Post22Live.com.
Yeah, it looks like the estimated start time for our next game is going to be 6 p.m. Mountain, so we're looking at about a 25-minute split in between games here. I think you and I can take about a 15-minute recess, and then we'll set the table for the next one. How's that sound?
Absolutely.
Awesome. We'll be right back, folks. ESPN Radio, Rapid City, 1340 AM, 105.7 FM, and Post22Live.com.
It's good to be alive right about now.